Hi, this is Natalie Lander, voice of Kinsey, Tara Branford, Stargirl, and many others. You are listening to a W2Mnet podcast. You can visit W2Mnet.com for other podcasts about entertainment, video games, sports, and wrestling. You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
Hello and welcome to Video Games to the Max, episode 212. And, well, we are here, and I apologize for the missing a week. It wasn't intentional. I started my new job. I work at a call center, so I'm basically doing what I'm doing right now a lot. And I'm actually using the work headset right now, so maybe it sounds actually better. I don't know.
Using company property on your own dime.
Actually, I don't know what happens if I decide to stop working there, if they actually take this away from me or not. They just the girl and I that started at the same time, she's actually already quit. They gave us this, along with the packet that they give you when you go in, and like notepad. So I don't know if we keep the notepad and this even if we quit or what. So whatever. But I have to take this home every night, and bring it back with me every day to do my job. So, but yeah, so that was unintentional. But this will be unless for some reason I have to do something on a Tuesday, then we'll go to the weekend schedule that we've had. But I'm trying to have it be on a set day, so it will be Tuesday at some point, and it may show up. You guys may get it in the feeds sometime on Tuesday, or for sure Wednesday morning, before the work commute. So this is the new day for Video Games to the Max, and of course, we are the official video games podcast at W2Mnet.com, and in partnership with Last Word on Live. Thank you always to them for having us on there. And, well, if this is your first time listening to us, or the 200th time or whatnot, thank you. And, of course, we're on everything that's out there, pretty much. I just found a website called Podchaser today, which is pretty cool. You can basically put in anything you've ever done podcast-wise on there, and it actually finds it and verifies it for you, so it's actually pretty neat. So I put us on there as well, and you can go review us on there as well as any other podcast service that you use. So make sure you go do that. And I think since the last time we did a show, my Mosaic review is on the website, and Marc's Journey to the Savage Planet review is also up, so you can go read those if you like. So, Marc, you're here with me as always.
Yep.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. I broke into a new box that I got, so I'm happy.
What did you get?
Naruto.
Oh, that's right. You showed it to me. So
yeah, like the first series, I guess, or whatever.
Have you started watching that? Or?
Yeah, I got like 3 episodes in. Seems okay.
That's about as far as I got, and just maybe sometime in, I don't know whenever I just have just free time to do absolutely nothing and nothing else is on.
When you retire, you didn't like it?
No, I don't know. It's just, I think I was watching other stuff, and then I saw that, it's way before I ever started to get into, decide to do the freaking One Piece.
Yeah, didn't even also marathon like Dragon Ball or something?
Yeah, that was way before I had decided, I'm going to marathon Dragon Ball and One Piece. It's like when I was still just watching the stuff that would come out every season or whatever.
Yeah.
So I kind of said, no, I'm not going to do this. And I keep thinking about it. I was like, well, it's like one of those things that kids that are, I think, in their teens now, that's like their, or a little bit older, that's their anime that they grew up with, and it's the one they reference all the time. And I was like, maybe I should watch it sometime, but yeah, it doesn't
Seems
seem to
okay.
be happening.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the thing I got is like 200 episodes long or something.
Yeah, and then if you get into Shippuden, I think that lasted like 500 before
Yeah,
they finally
that's what
stopped it.
that's what I'm not going to get into.
Yeah. Well, I heard there was like a crap ton of filler for
Yeah, that doesn't surprise
Shippuden,
me.
so.
Like 200 is like that's long, that's doable. I mean,
Right.
that's
It,
fine, really.
yeah, even Dragon Ball is not. If you like, I mean, I think Kai is like what, like 250?
Akai's like 198, I think, or it's like
Yeah.
really little compared
So
compared to the
like,
regular show.
if you cut out, because there's some filler that's kind of okay, but if you cut out a lot of that, it's not anywhere near the 400 something episodes that I watched. So
Akai's 167, so
yeah.
that's yeah.
Well that's Z. So I mean, Dragon Ball also has filler, and so does Super, but Super doesn't
Yeah.
have that many. But
No, yeah, Super is actually. I mean, it has some filler, but the episodes are more or less pretty tight.
it just takes forever to get from one
Oh yeah.
fight thing to the next and
Well,
whatever.
I was watching like the big universe fighting arc at the end, at the end of the show, and it's like there are 10 minutes left of this fight, and each minute lasted an episode.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there are 10 episodes left. You can just say that instead. Like,
Well, might as well start with the games we are playing. I'll just start because I'm playing a lot less than you. Uh, I work a 8-hour shift with a 2 30-minute breaks, and I kind of been playing this game when I go on break, and that's kind of it because I don't get a lot of time. I work a 2 to 11 shift, so I don't, and my job's 30 minutes away, so I don't get a ton of time. If I don't wake up super early, I don't really get a lot of time to do much before I have to go to work. So I've been playing Code Shifter, which is an Arc System Works game. It's it's like a beat 'em up, but also has platforming.
yeah.
So the fun thing about this game is that it's also the story is based on game development. So
Oh, is this a game that you like merge games together?
no, that's that mash 'em up game.
Okay, yeah, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So this does have a mashup where you are this one character that's is created by the game designer to kill bugs. And so that's what you're basically doing is you have 5 levels of each portion of okay, so like the first person is or well the one I'm on right now is the artist. So you're going through the art like the artist's arc and you're killing the bugs that the artist has a problem with, and there's a little bit of story bits before you go through each mission. And the cool thing is that all the other Arc system, the old like NES and SNES like Arc System Works characters can be used as characters in the game. So you have your character that's made for the game that is the only one that can kill that can destroy the actual some bugs and can collect the little boxes that give you points. But like okay, say like Billy from Double Dragon and Kunio, who the Kunio is about to have a game come out with Double Dragon that has all his games in it. And Kunio kind of looks like Kiryu from Yakuza.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of them. There's so many of them. And there's like so many that I'm kind of like, I have no idea who you are, but you have cool powers. Now I kind of want to know what game you came from. So I think it's cool from that perspective of like if you're one of those people that like loves Arc System Works games, especially the ones from back in the day. I think there's a great love letter here for you for this for the getting to play as those characters, and they each have their own little thing. Like there's parts where you can only get to go up this this air tube if you're having a light character, or there's electric things that you have to hit, and if you don't have a character that has electricity, you have to go find them because they're in these little pods that you have to find around the level, and there's different ones, and there's also assist trophies that you can get, and they, if you press it, you do their like special attack from their game or whatever. So like there's a lot of cool stuff in this, and I like the story being around game development. So there's like, they talk about crunch and they talk about things like that, but it's all kind of like almost kind of like cartoony. The art style is very, cartoony-ish. So I just, it's a neat little game, and I didn't know what to expect going in, and I've been enjoying it. So if you're a big Arc System Works fan, and they have a Grand Blue Fantasy Versus coming out over here to the States. It's already out in Japan, out to the States in March. So
Yeah.
And you've I haven't checked it out yet because I got to make myself a Japanese Nintendo account. But you played that Persona 5 Scramble demo.
I made the account on the PS4, so I played it on there.
Oh, okay.
It was easier and would look better. Yeah, I played Scramble. Yeah, I mean, it very much is like a Dynasty Warriors type of game, but you have a lot more abilities, or you just it feels snappier and looks a lot better. And like, did you ever play Dragon Quest Heroes?
No, I didn't.
It's like that, or like that Hyrule Warriors game or something. Like You're not like going to like Section H to defend it against rampaging hordes. It's like you're in this small stage and you have to beat up people.
Oh, the Pirate Warrior games are like that too. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you have abilities tied to your persona. They can kind of like they appear in like an arc or like a box or like so you can target whatever enemies you want. You can kind of flip around on like light posts or like light poles to get around and like dive bomb an area. And yeah, it's good. I mean, I'll definitely buy that game when it comes out in America.
Yeah, which still has a TBA release date, and especially it's more important that you do play it in English, because if you saw the previous trailer that they released, at the end they kind of do a little tease of Persona 5-2, and then they have it get knocked out with an S. So, leading to a lot of speculation that perhaps this is kind of like Atlas doing a second game in this series, which very interesting because it does take place right after the first game ended, right? So,
I think it takes place like little after. I mean, because Royal is going to be the next canonical thing. But like the demo introduces like the main boss, I assume, and like the new characters that you'll meet in the game. I don't know their names, but
yeah, you do meet characters in the game. I think they said the character that's in Royal, that like she went to Canada to go to school or something. And that's how they.
Yeah, they don't.
Basically,
She's not. Yeah, she's not. I don't think.
That's how they get around ignoring whatever happens in Royal. So
yeah, that's fun.
I mean, do you like that? Like, doesn't it make it more purchase worthy for you to like know that the story actually really means something instead of just being a repeat of Persona 5 or?
I mean, it could honestly be a repeat, and I wouldn't care. I mean, 'cause I appreciate that now Sega is just kind of screwing with their franchises and taking them off in like different directions. Like if this game was just another JRPG, I'd still get it, but because it's something different, it piques my interest more.
Yeah, certainly, and I think that's. I just like the fact that they do. I mean, the GBA game, or not GBA, sorry, the Labyrinth game also has like story ties, but that's clearly a spin-off, and so does the Arena game also had story ties to 4.
Yeah, that was too much though.
Yeah. So I think it's cool that they do this. They make their spin-off games feel special. I mean, the only ones that I still kind of wish they would have been able to do more with 3 and 5 and the dancing one. But hey, you know what? Those are also just fun games you can you can play on their own just to hear the music, and that's cool too.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. I'm certainly interested in Scramble, and you played another demo.
Yeah, I downloaded that Yakuza 7, I think it's Like a Dragon
Yeah, like a
trailer.
dragon.
I didn't finish it because it's a big demo. Like I was like, you need 24 gigabytes to install this thing. I'm like, what?
Damn.
Yeah, that's the new Yakuza game. That's an RPG.
Right.
So it's funny that Persona and Yakuza have basically swapped, with the Yakuza now being the beat 'em up action game, or Persona now being the beat 'em up action game, and Yakuza being the JRPG.
Well, I mean, it's cool that Yakuza's like taking a different direction, though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and it got good reviews so far. Like, some people don't like it, but it's like you can only do. I mean, they pumped out a lot of those Yakuza games, especially recently. So, I mean, I was getting sick of it by like the third one. And it's like, okay, we got 5 more to go. It's like great. Yeah, but this game you play, I don't know the guy's name. You play this Asian guy with a big afro, which is pretty awesome. And like you have a party, and you walk around. You don't even walk around Kamurocho. You walk around like some other town, at least initially. And yeah, like when you get into a battle, like it's turn based. It reminds me of like Legend of Dragoon or like Mario RPG. Like you press, so you have like regular attacks, and then like if you use like special attack, you can like time button presses to make it more powerful or to do different stuff. I assume
awesome.
I might be missing. I can assure you I'm missing some of the battle systems because I just don't know what the hell they're saying or really know what the text is.
Yeah.
But so I assume that might be like a guard mechanic or like I'm hoping like a timing based guard because that's always fun. But yeah, it's fun. Like you have 3 guys. It's funny. The main guy at the start of the demo, you pull a bat out of like the cement sidewalk, and it's like you're pulling Excalibur out of the stone. It's hilarious. Like you pull this bat out, and like it starts glowing, and it's like, what the hell is going on? It's a stupid bat.
That's awesome.
And then like you get into a huge fight like immediately after, and you start hitting the people with the bat. Yeah, that game should be a lot of fun. Like that'll be a game I definitely to get for review or just get because the summons in that game. I looked at a video compilation and they're all great.
Definitely, I'm sure they have kept the comedy in for that.
I would say they've expanded it even more than usual.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see that as well. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Well, how goes the Kakarot?
God. I finally resorted to cheating. I did that around the Frieza saga, like when the Ginyu Force showed up, because I was getting I wasn't like losing, but the fights were just taking forever because you're going against. It's like 1 versus 3. It's like you as like Goku versus Chase or Coom and Berta. And I'm like, well, I have enough health items to like I can make this go forever, but these guys just keep ganging up on me, and this is not fun. So I just boosted myself to max level so I can take out anyone in like 1 hit, which is nice.
So yeah, you're certainly going through the game a lot faster now, I'd imagine.
I mean, you'd think so, but not, I mean, it's just so boring. Like, it's like, oh man, like I just have the point now where it's like not even like this like start of him. I just got to like the point where like the start of the Saiyaman arc.
Okay.
Like I haven't even gotten Imagine Buu yet. This is before that, but at least Gohan's not a little kid anymore.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I love Saiyaman. One of my favorite things about DBZ.
Yeah, and they introduce so many bad things in that game that it's really kind of hysterical. So like one of the things they introduced was like, here's this new character. She's going to be part of the Ginyu Force. I think her name is Banya. Mm-hmm. Banyu, that's it. She's not a character. Like, she only appears in this training menu, and they only say like, "Oh, she used to be part of the Ginyu Force, but she left because she couldn't get the posing down." But she was she was the smart one of the group,
Oh my god.
and it's like, why don't they show her? Why doesn't she have a character? Like I think Toriyama did like create her, or he designed her at least. So it's like, why isn't she in this game? I mean, except as some like glorified like AI training buddy or something.
I guess so they can say that they made new characters.
Yeah, one new character aside from like a bunch of cookie cutter like bad guys.
Right. Yeah.
They introduced mech racing and car time trial racing, and I did both of these, and I'm like, why is this here? Like,
just to have something different to do on it.
Well, the car is bad, and the mech is actually worse. Like I had to do like one mech race because it's like required in the story, and like I barely made it. I had like 4 seconds left. I'm like, oh.
Better hurry up.
Yeah, it controls terribly, and there's like a bunch of like dots you can erases that appear on this mini map, and I was like, who would do any of this? I mean, it still has a lot of DBZ fan service, but it's really wearing thin. And the fighting system doesn't open up at all. I'm doing the same dumb, even if I wasn't cheating or, just boosting myself up, I'd still be doing the same dumbass stuff. I'm now like hour 20 into the game as doing hour 1. Hit the guy when he turns red, dodge away from him until he does a counterattack and then go back at him.
Yeah. That sucks. You have to.
Well, put it this way: I'm supremely glad I got it on PC. If I'd got it on PS4, I would have been done with that game. An hour, 2 hours after I got it.
Would have gotten there somewhere, but like, I just can't do it anymore.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I got Monster Hunter Iceborne from Adam like a month ago. And after the fiasco of the saves thing, I finally got it to like work. And I can't just start a game in Iceborne. I thought I finished the game, like Monster Hunter World. Apparently I didn't. Or this thing introduces like a whole lot more garbage onto it, because it's like, here's like 10 hours of more crap to do before I even go to this new area. And I'm like, great. I don't like doing this stuff in the first place. This is more boring than Kakarot, actually.
Well, if you really were into Monster Hunter, I think they'd love the fact that you get more stuff to do. You
say that, but I was actually listening to an old Bombcast from like I think 2 weeks ago when Jason, the big Monster Hunter guy, he was even bitching about it. He was like, I'm having to keep fucking finding tracks in the field. Like, this is terrible.
Well, good thing you're not alone on that then.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm close to like the start of the game at least, so I'll keep at it.
That'll just take you a while.
Yeah. Not as much as you'd think. Again, the joys of PC gaming.
Well, I'm still like trudging through Temtem. It's just, I mean, technically, I would just be giving impressions because I don't know how long it's going to be in early access before they ever release a final version of the game. I'm not actually reviewing that game because, it's not finished. But there's so freaking, it feels like it takes forever to get to the next town and the next town. It's because they just pack that through with trainers, and I'm just like, oh god, this is going to take forever. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people that's all you did was play that, and you don't have anything else you need to play or anything else you really need to do. Sure, I've already seen people complaining that they got to the end and they have nothing else to do, and it's like, well, okay, this is also an early access game. I'm sure that the end game stuff. Yes, this is an MMO, but the end game stuff will come once they iron out the rest of this. So, you know,
You see him
um,
hope.
yeah, you'd hope, but I mean, that's all gonna be multiplayer stuff, I'd imagine anyway. Like, I wouldn't. What else are you really gonna do? Like, what? Add an Elite Four and a Battle Tower and all that other stuff? I mean, Pokemon's never really been known for having great end game stuff, other than the
or
breeding and the.
or any.
Yeah, I mean, they've started doing that more often now, but like, that's the thing that's gonna be funny. Of like, what are they really gonna be able to add that you do with MMOs? That I mean, are you gonna have raids? Now, what are you gonna
Well, I
do?
mean,
Like,
Pokemon Pokemon already has that, and it's terrible.
yeah, I mean, so are you gonna do that where you do the raids like Pokemon Sword and Shield have, and they're not great? So that's what's gonna be interesting is how are they gonna handle that when it comes time to that. So sorry I cut you off, but
No, no.
well, is there that about it for the
I
games you're
picked up
playing?
I picked up Super Mario Brothers 3 for the GBA, and I've been playing that on my SNES, and that's pretty all right.
Oh, I haven't. That's what I loved about the GBA. It was so good with SNES ports.
No,
Um,
no, no. You misunderstood. I mean, Super Mario Brothers 3 is a NES game,
oh, that's right. Sorry.
but
I,
I'm playing it on my Super Nintendo.
you're playing. Oh, it's a GBA
Game. I
cart
just like,
that you're
yeah.
playing on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I had this like
Okay.
weird like ghetto thing called like the Super Retro Advance, I think it's what it's called,
Yeah.
and lets you play GBA games on a Super Nintendo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but only GBA games, not Game Boy Color or Game Boy.
Well, no. Okay. Backtracking. The GBA did still had really good ports
Oh
of
yeah,
NES and SNES
I mean
games. Like,
the
yeah.
GBA was basically like a portable SNES. I mean,
Yeah.
so I only have two. I only have two GBA games. That and I think Golden Sun 2.
Oh, I love Golden Sun.
I never played it, so I like to play Golden Sun 1 first before I delve into
Yeah, I
2.
definitely would because two has a lot of story continuation.
Yeah, 2, like I booted up 2 and it just like dropped me into the story and I'm like, what? Like
I have
I
no
thought it,
idea what's going on.
I thought it was Golden Sun 1 until I didn't even look at
Yeah, it's like
the
Lost Ages or something like that, right?
yeah, it's like really
Yeah.
tiny text. I'm like, what? All right. I booted up with a friend and she was getting bored sitting there like watching me text through menus and I'm like, well, all right, sorry.
It's an RPG. Yep.
Oh yeah, the other good thing I bought a copy of Earthbound, which I know is
Well,
Randy's favorite game.
oh yeah, you know it. Of course, it's yeah. That comes from the backlog busting where Wes says that's pretty much like his favorite game ever, and Randy's like, no. So,
I
uh,
well, I mean I haven't played it, and honestly I doubt I'll ever try it, but I got it for a decent price, like 160. So I'm like, all right, that's
hey,
okay.
not bad, not bad at
Yeah.
all. So, all right, so let's get into the news here. Early this morning, like it wasn't really this morning, like yeah, but basically early this morning, we all woke up to Nintendo. They had said that they were going after the people that had leaked the early pictures of Pokemon Sword and Shield, and they were not playing around. So they had they'd been able to get subpoenas for going after 4chan and Discord to try to find the users that did it, but we really didn't know that there was like if they were really going to go after press outlets or not.
Yeah.
And we found out that they sure have. And no, we've seen this isn't like the first outlet to get blacklisted. We've seen like Kotaku got blacklisted by Ubisoft. I think they still are. So for this happens, but it's normally the outlet saying it. You don't have Ubisoft or Nintendo or Bethesda or whoever come out and release a statement saying it. So this was very much a different kind of vibe that you're getting here. This felt very much like when Nintendo outed the two websites that were huge in having Nintendo ROMs that they were not happy about.
Yeah.
This was kind of like that. So a Portuguese outlet called FN Nintendo was found to have, uh, posted images of Pokemon Sword and Shield before they were supposed to. Of course, you sign an NDA when you get early review copies. What do you mean you don't sign anything, but you basically agree to an embargo. And so, I mean, most people probably listening to this know how this works, but just to go a little bit inside baseball, anytime we get an early review code for something, I just got one for a PC game a couple of days ago, like 2 or 3 days ago. They have you agree to the embargo. They tell you this is what you can and can't do. A lot of times now with streaming, they'll tell you, okay, you can stream up to this point in the game, and then the rest of it you cannot do any coverage until such and such date with such and such time. And they stick by that time. In some places, they kind of okay, and especially when it comes to like international, because sometimes you get your times crossed or whatever, or if you're like you're an hour early and you're in Central and it's supposed
Yeah.
to be.
Sometimes stuff does like leak on occasion, but it's never like nefarious, or it's usually like just accidental.
Right. I mean, and they kind of understand those kinds of things. Like those things are kind of like, okay, that happens, whatever. But Nintendo is one of those companies you don't when they say this is the embargo, you do not break that at all, because Nintendo is Nintendo, and they will surely make you pay for it. And this is what they're doing here with this Portuguese website. They've apparently had a relationship with Nintendo for like 11 years, and basically a freelancer was given Pokemon Sword or Shield to review, and they decided that they were going to go rogue and post these pictures online without. I don't know if they consulted FN Nintendo, or it seems like they didn't. They just decided, oh, well, I'm posting these. I don't care. I'm going to get me some publicity and F this website. So, yeah. And Nintendo didn't know. They find out it was this guy. And the other thing, too, which is bad, I think it's worse that, like, they made FN Nintendo have to make their own statement that sounds like you got to say exactly this, or we're going to take you to court.
Yeah,
So,
it always ends well.
like, I mean, obviously Nintendo's within their rights to do this. I mean, it's their IP. They got to protect it. But, how do you feel about this whole thing? Like,
I mean, yeah, it's dumb. Like, to ruin like your website or your brand like that just for especially Pokemon. It's like, what? If you're gonna do it over a franchise that matters like Fire Emblem.
yeah, I mean, obviously this helped stir up that controversy that led to people bashing the game and all that stuff.
It's like the people. It's like the kids who keep like leaking. Did you see that Xbox Series X leak like a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
It's like this. It's like the same type of idiot who does that.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite one was the Ubisoft one where the guy was like, I work as the janitor at Ubisoft. Please don't post these of the PS5 dev kit or whatever. I'm like, really? Come on, man. Like, I get it if this is some old guy that doesn't understand how the internet works, but still, like, if you tell someone not going to post this, that's exactly what they're going to do.
It's like, maybe don't post the pictures in the first place then.
Yeah, I think anybody that I get it. There's going to be people that are going to get upset about, oh, Nintendo's being way too crazy or whatever. It's like, look, they have to do this because if they don't go after you, that means the next person that wants to do this, they'll just do whatever they want. And they have to. It's not just to protect an embargo and whatever. It's also to protect Pokemon because it did affect them negatively. Yes, I mean, they announced the sales last week, and Pokemon's already almost beating Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild in sales.
That's not like hugely surprising, actually.
I know, but it is crazy that quickly they sold 16 million. I mean, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, it's probably even more crazier that Mario Kart. Of course, Mario Kart gets bundled with the system, so that helps too. But it's like outselling everything else. So, you know, I just I think this is more of a anybody else that has a tie with us that works in games media. This is a basically letting you know you will receive the same treatment if you let one of your people decide to do that, and that's something you have to kind of be careful of now because so much games media is freelance. And not even that, there's a lot of big games media that you think would have a central office or something like that, and they don't. They're all remote as well. So like we are.
I mean, like the big sites, I think like IGN, GameSpot,
Giant Bomb.
Yeah, Giant Bomb, obviously, but that's kind of about it. Like I don't think Polygon has an office or like Destructoid or anything. Those are big sites. Or even Kotaku doesn't have an office. I mean, they might have like a very small one, but I mean, most of their people are freelancers or from around this country.
Right, and I mean the way that things have changed has allowed it to where you can do that and you don't have to have a central office anymore because PayPal or direct deposit or whatever makes it to where okay, we can just put the money in immediately and you get paid for your work and you don't have to worry about getting screwed over or whatever. Or waiting for that check to come in the mail for 3 weeks or so yeah, it's just stuff you got to worry about when you hire someone that may not take it very seriously because there's a lot of outlets, not just us, there's a lot of outlets that you would think that have been there for years that you would think, oh, they make enough money to pay all the people that write for them. No, they don't.
Right.
And yeah, there's a lot of outlets that you're getting paid in the free games that you get, or you're getting paid in the publicity that you get for writing for this site. And they may go, you know what, this isn't worth it for me. And they decide to do something like this and it screws up your website. So I've had people and 401 has had people and where you have them and they decide to go AWOL and they had 4 games they were reviewing. Well, guess what? Then I have to patch up the relationships with those publishers or those developers because those games never got the coverage released. So, yep, just let it be known. It could happen to you. It may not be Nintendo, but it could be another publisher. So just be careful of breaking those embargoes. So this also happened today, which kind of wanted to see what you thought because, you're a Division guy and Ubisoft. Yeah, so they're going back to New York with this new expansion. And it's called Warlords of New York, just to state that. I mean, and they're kind of Ubisoft's kind of claiming that they want to sort of reinvigorate the game, basically. Like, does any of the stuff that was announced here make you want to go back and give it another shot, or?
Well, the game is currently like $3 in every storefront, so I may pick up the PC version just for the hell of it. Not really. I mean, I guess it's cool. I like the New York setting more than like the Washington setting, but the fact that I never had anyone to play it with is probably the biggest drawback for me. Like, no one else got into that game or even like tried to. So it's a bummer to play it actually, at least for me. It was still fun, but
you didn't try playing with randoms and.
I mean, no, that was okay. I could do that once or twice, and that was fine. But No, it's. I mean, I got Borderlands 3 with Jens, and like I wouldn't have stuck with that game if I wasn't playing with him, because just to play with someone that is more enjoyable than with random people.
Yeah.
But
So go
like the
ahead.
new, no, I was gonna say like going back to New York is probably a good idea. You can see how the city's changed, or I mean, they'll probably reuse some of the assets or the environments and stuff. But that's fine.
Well, I mean, uh do you like the idea of like revitalizing the dark zones and
No,
there?
because that's the one thing I never got into, that Dark Zone crap. Like
Yeah.
I just don't like PvP that much in games. So especially, yeah, it's just like, all right, I guess, but I mean, I would rather have more single player content or more story, because I think the stories that you're trying to go after this like evil agent guy who like I think might be responsible for the plague, or like that's what they're hinting at.
Mm.
Uh, so yeah,
Well, so just to explain some of this here. The game's title update 8 is going to include an RPG overhaul, which allows the players to read and manage their gear and inventory more easily. The Dark Zone thing that I know you say don't care about, but they're going to return to a simpler rogue mechanic. The level cap's going to get increased to level 40. There's an infinite progression system now, an SHD level, 4 new skills that can be used throughout the game, and there's now seasons, which are 3-month long endgame events with the main target and network to track down, which their own stories and rewards when the first season begins after Division 2 Warlords of New York releases. So,
so they're basically making it like Rainbow Six Siege with the season crap.
well, yeah. I mean, it works for Six Siege, right? So,
Yeah,
I guess why not? So,
I,
none of
I
that.
I mean, I might go back to it, but also the 100 GB install size doesn't exactly entice me too much.
Yeah. It's like was it season 2 of Call of Duty just started and it was trending everywhere, the 61 gigabyte or 58
Yeah,
gigabyte patch or whatever.
yeah.
It's like, wow, okay. We're
Game
getting,
sizes are getting a little too ridiculous here.
well, I'll wait till we get to Series X and all that. It's gonna be and PS5 it's gonna be nuts. So this is from last week since we're talking about Ubisoft. Uh, just to be clear, we're not going to talk too much about stuff from last week, just because I don't want this to be 3 hours long. So, and I should have mentioned, I keep forgetting to do this at the beginning, so that you know, even though there's timestamps, so you guys can kind of know, we are gonna have a main topic. It's this. It may not be very long because Activision doesn't have that many franchises that they don't already have some kind of plan for making more games for. We're talking about because Activision announced that they're doing more remasters this year. So we'll talk about remasters they could be doing. So anyway, Ubisoft says that they will have 5 AAA games out by 2021, and 3 of them will get released by the end of this year, and 2 of them being released in early 2021, and none of them will be Beyond Good and Evil 2. Uh, all right, thanks. I was hoping that Beyond Good and Evil 2 will release at some point. My God, I've been waiting for this game forever. I guess not happening still.
Well, remember Wild?
Yeah, we've heard nothing about that either.
Yeah,
So,
I mean
yeah,
the Ubisoft game is going to be Watch Dogs Legion, probably a new Far Cry, or at least new Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed's
Uh,
pretty much already been leaked. It's called
yeah, that
Ragnarok.
yeah the Thor game or whatever. Uh,
Gods and
what else?
Monsters,
Yeah,
Rainbow Six Quarantine,
yep.
and yeah,
And
Far Cry wouldn't be
and no new
surprised.
Splinter Cell.
Yeah, uh, I wonder if that's even being talked about at all. I mean, I know they used a lot of Sam Fisher stuff between Wildlands and that what was that mobile game and other things. So
Yeah,
I guess Skull and Bones could still come out, but that's been delayed indefinitely as well.
Got in the indefinite. I thought it was just like a long delay, but it's not a huge surprise.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Gods and Monsters, Rainbow Six Quarantine, and Watch Dogs Legions all got delayed into this year. Those three might be the ones that are releasing by the end of this year. And I mean, Assassin's Creed Ragnarok could sneak in, and they could delay one of the other ones, or just to see if they could make it for the launch of the new consoles, because Unity and Black Flag were around for the launch of the Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm sort of interested in Gods and Monsters. I know you're kind of ready for Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah, and probably Assassin's Creed, because
Yeah.
I'm dumb.
Well, no, I mean,
And I want to play a game that lasts 200 hours.
well, they improved a lot with Odyssey. So I
They
know
made it
you didn't like Origins.
Yeah, well, Odyssey made it like somewhat playable, but it's like still like here are 36 areas of this map. You only need to go to 9 to finish the game. It's like, all right,
Yeah,
let's
and
do this.
I love that Vikings setting, the Norse setting. So I'm totally down. I mean, and it worked for God of War. So if Ubisoft can make it work for Assassin's Creed, maybe I'll even
But how
give it a shot.
How much crap can you climb? I don't think the Vikings are known for having opulent cities.
Yeah, that would be interesting how they do that. Is there going to be even more? They are certainly known for their ships, so it's going to be more ship battling and all that
more
kind of
naval
stuff in
combat,
there.
more islands and.
I mean, because that's a lot of what they did. When they were nomads, they went around the different islands, so it's going to be much more like Black Flag. So, yeah, we'll see how that shapes out. I'm sure E3 there will be a lot about Ragnarok. That'll be probably one of their big games at their press conference.
They'll have Chris Hemsworth come out and he's like, I'm voicing the main character.
Hey, you know what? That would surely get people to get behind it if they weren't already. So, can you imagine? Well, I don't think it's too far-fetched to imagine that Anthem was bad. So,
no, really?
they're reworking it and focusing on an Anthem 2.0.
I no. Why are they throwing good money after bad?
Because Andrew Wilson said there's a 7 to 10 year plan with Anthem, and I don't think they don't want to give up on it.
See, like, I mean, everyone goes to the Final Fantasy XIV comparison, because that game had a terrible launch, and all the managers got fired who made it, all the people who got fired. The difference is Final Fantasy has a name, or the franchise has cachet. Like they're not. Of course, they're not going to let that.
And they had an MMO before. That helped too.
They're not going to let the game, fall apart and they say screw it, out of the next one. Like they owed it to people at the time because people have such a history with that franchise.
Well, I think it's also Square Enix. I mean, let's be fair. Square Enix is not going to turn down. Oh yeah, we can just keep making money with this thing and use that money to fund other stuff. So I think this is what EA is seeing and saying, well, it works for Destiny, it works for Final Fantasy. Blizzard's still pumping out expansions. I mean,
that Blizzard. We can talk about Blizzard in a little while.
The ongoing game is still a thing.
Well, like you brought up Destiny, like that game had a lot of rough patches or like rough areas, but the fundamentals of that game still worked. Like regardless of all the business crap of Activision or all the dumb events or even like the bad expansions or whatever, those games still worked. Like Anthem from the second it launched was a bad game. And there's I don't think there's any amount of rebalancing or patching or unless they make Anthem 2 and they give everyone who plays Anthem like the finished Anthem trophy and the PS, whatever, free copies. Like that's the only way that I can see this working.
I mean, they could do that. right? They could just uh, either make Anthem 1 free to play, or they just let you basically skip it, and
I
Anthem 2, and you don't
no,
charge anyone that has an Anthem.
well, they
Uh,
never charged Anthem 1 in the first place.
right, but like I'm saying, like, okay, Anthem
Like,
2, if it's gonna be a new game, you have to do something for
oh, you
those
mean like
people that
the
already have
upfront
the.
cost? Yeah, the upfront
Yeah,
costs.
you're gonna have to eat some of the costs for people that
Yeah,
already have Anthem 1, because like to expect them to buy a whole nother game again after you screwed them over on the game that they bought, like, so I mean, okay, so here's the gist of what Casey Hudson's saying.
yeah.
They want to preserve the fun of the flying and fighting in a vast sci-fi fantasy setting, but they want to reinvent the core gameplay loop with clear goals, motivating challenges, and progression with meaningful rewards, which is the stuff you would expect somebody to say, and you know stuff that we should have done the first time around. And this time they're going to take the time to test and iterate and focus on gameplay first, and not try to rush the game out the door, and not take the that approach of, well, we'll put it out there and then we'll start fixing it. And so uh, it's basically this. The plans for Anthem 2.0 are in flux. Um, it's gonna change drastically, and there's a lot of thought that this might even be a brand new game, like Marc said. So, and there's a chance that perhaps either they make it like half off, or they eat a lot of the costs of people that already have Anthem 1. So, uh, I agree with you on the whole. Final Fantasy 14 isn't going to work for everybody, and it isn't going to be. Not every game is going to be able to turn around and be something like that. Some games are just. It's not going to work. But
Well, remember, oh, what is it? I mean, Wildlands. Some people liked it, some people didn't.
a
I thought it was kind of
breakpoint, you mean?
fine. Yeah, I was gonna say, remember Breakpoint? Like that really bombed, and
Yeah, but that
they're like,
wasn't an ongoing game, though.
yeah, it is. I mean, it's not like
It is.
it's not a live service game, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's focused on multiplayer for the most
Yeah,
part. I think it can be. It's like Fallout 76. I think there's more of a chance that ones are like Fallout 76, where okay, you fix it and it has its core people that might enjoy playing it or whatever, but I don't think it's going to get the buzz and the care that it would have got had it hit out of the gate, and it would have its loyal people. Like there are still people that are really behind Destiny, and it gets talked about, and it's people have podcasts about it, and they have things, and it's in that same realm as the Overwatches and all those that have their ongoing services and they get played. Whereas I just really think that even with this remodel, there's a big chance that Anthem just winds up like Fallout 76, where it's a game that when you hear that name, Anthem, it will
yeah,
forever be synonymous with a bad.
yeah. It's an internet joke, and even like, and even Fallout 76 is vaunted. We're finally adding a story, and NPCs into this game thing is like kind of flailing around.
Right, but it's funny because Fallout 76 does have its like core players that love it, and all that stuff, but it's kind of just out there in the whims, you know.
Yeah.
So, speaking of things that are pretty much don't dead and may not come back, System Shock 3.
I thought you were gonna say Warcraft 3, but okay.
Well, Warcraft 3 is also in that realm too, but System Shock 3 is pretty much dead now. I mean, it was always going to be in trouble when you hear Starbreeze is going in trouble, and
Yeah, they were
then
the ones like putting up the money for it, and it's like, wait, what? They don't have money to begin with.
right, and then Starbreeze has to take back their money,
Yeah,
and Warren Spector has to come out and be like, oh, it's no big deal. We have money to keep this thing going, and Other side has enough capital to fund itself and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden, everybody starts leaving. The
It's like, I
writer,
guess, nope.
director, the lead programmer, the design director, all these people start leaving, and then finally, after Chase Jones, the game design director, in a LinkedIn profile, just decides to say he's done, someone else, the former community manager, Sam Langwahat, basically comes out and says, "I'm concerned for the state of the studio," and there's basically nobody working there for System
Yeah,
Shock 3 anymore. It's
I,
yeah,
I really think that franchise was cursed. Because remember, they were trying to remake System Shock 1, like that other
that's
developer?
still happening.
Yeah, I know, but only because they were like, oh, we have this cool art style, and and then they were like, oh wait, we can't actually make this work on Unity or whatever the whole engine they had, and they had to switch to like Unreal Engine, and they didn't really know how to do that, and then it was a disaster. They're still working on it apparently, like because they got bribed into doing it again, but for a while they were like, oh, we stopped work on it. It's like, what? Why'd you make a Kickstarter then? Or aren't you owing people some product here at some point?
Yeah, you are, but
I mean, it's a shame. I didn't think it was ever gonna be good or ever even gonna come out, honestly, because that's just the way these things at this point.
yeah. I
Like
mean,
until they showed actual gameplay, or they showed gameplay, or at least a spiffy new CGI trailer. Like even games that do that, like half the time, I don't think they're coming out.
yeah. I mean, look, they showed the new trailer for Beyond Good and Evil 2 at like 2 E3s ago, and then you
Maybe
hear nothing
3.
about it
Yeah,
after that. Like
yeah,
it's after like they made a whole big deal, and here's the new trailer and all this other stuff, and oh look how good it looks, and that means we're in progress to start really getting behind it, and then nothing.
yep,
And it's like, okay, thanks for getting our hopes up again. I mean, look, game development's hard, and they, what was it, like they weren't even close to really having hardly anything for System Shock 3,
yeah.
and
I mean, game development is hard. That's why you shouldn't tie yourself to a game, a fairly beloved game franchise that has a lot of people's expectations.
yeah, unless you have the funding. I mean,
Unless a
to
game,
be fair, it's not like you just wake up one day and think that Starbreeze is gonna go through the troubles it had, right?
I mean, after that, I liked it, and I know a lot of people did, but after that Syndicate reboot they did, which I mean did well. I mean, it was a good game, but it didn't sell for shit. It's like you guys are kind of in trouble, especially when they tried to self-fund their own VR headset. It's like, what?
Yeah, that's the one that didn't make any sense to me. It's like,
Yeah,
and a lot of times, and for a long time, they lived off basically porting Payday 2 to wherever they could.
which
Yeah.
that was the bananas part to me, because I was like, that game is not good in the first place. Like, focus on making that a enjoyable game, and then I might actually give you some money to play it.
Well, let's see whether they like that game, because they kept buying it on the other systems too. But, yeah.
No, like the thing is with that game, like it's like, okay, co-op bank robbery game. It's like, great, that's a fantastic idea. You need to have good shooting in it, and that's like the first thing you need to do. And that game didn't have it.
Well, and then of course Grand Theft Auto Online comes out, and then there's like no reason to have Payday 2
Yeah,
anymore. So
unless you want to play with John Wick or whatever the hell, other characters were. They threw into Payday 2 as the last Hail Mary.
right, yeah, I remember that too. They would
Surprised,
throw in random characters.
I'm surprised Kane Lynch didn't try to make it come, an appearance or something.
Yeah, they could have done that, right? That was like the last thing. Just be like, hey, here's Kane and Lynch. You remember them? Not really, but okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, just to continue on the negative trend, I guess. Mark mentioned it, but Blizzard is just having a terrible time with Warcraft 3 Reforged to the point where they're now just giving refunds with no questions asked.
So
Because, yeah.
yeah, it is telling. Not from this site, but from Adam. He offers me pretty much every Blizzard game that comes out. Like I reviewed Overwatch on Switch. I reviewed Diablo 3 on Switch. I've reviewed like the last 2 or 3 different WoW expansions. I didn't get an offer for Warcraft 3.
Well, the PR, I didn't even get a response. Like,
No, but I mean, I got one for last year for Warcraft.
yeah, but I think they might have still had an actual. Was Robert Taylor gone by then?
I don't know.
Like,
But
because he responded to me when he was still around, but I think now that they have it to where like it's not even an actual person,
yeah,
they don't even have a person listed. The only like they have a person listed in charge of World
yeah.
of Warcraft,
He,
Diablo, and Overwatch, and that's it.
yeah. I got Switch, or I got Overwatch on Switch, and that came out like October last year, and Taylor left in like February. So
Okay, yeah, like I think Overwatch has that actual person like designated, but
yeah,
anything that's not WoW, Overwatch, and Diablo, I think, or StarCraft, uh, doesn't have a designated PR person. So like, it's also telling that you just put it as a general PR, and then we're like, well, we're really gonna get picky about who we send codes to because I think internally they knew that this
oh
was going
yeah,
to be a problem. Like,
yeah.
and yeah, it's not just that. It's just like, how do you promise a game looks a certain way and then 2 years later it somehow looks worse than what you promised? Like that.
I mean, the most galling thing to me is granted, I haven't played it in years, but they fucked up original Warcraft 3.
How do you mess that up too? Like,
Because, do you not know what they did?
okay, I know that they like added things or whatever, but
No, you can't. I have Warcraft 3 on my Blizzard account or whatever, like
right,
BattleNet, whatever.
I do too, yeah.
Like, you can't get that original version anymore. It's now always reforged, and so Warcraft 3 at the time, it's like 2 GB download or whatever. Now it's like 24 because it's downloading all the reforged assets, even if you don't use them or have access to them. So like all like the old Warcraft 3 stuff, like the clan system and the tournament system is all gone.
Oh, so I could basically just throw away my Warcraft 3 disc then.
No. That's the thing. You keep them because people find a workaround. Like, so you have to like install the game, patch it to like 1.27, I think. That's like before all the BattleNet integration, and then you can play that. And that's like the version you want, or the only thing is like left.
Yeah, I mean that's a
That's
typical Blizzard thing in a way.
that's a
But
typical Activision thing. That's
yeah, but well, today's Blizzard, I would say.
yeah.
Like just I think it's telling to me that like you promised something 2 years ago, the game doesn't live up to that. The stuff about people getting mad about that they totally own anything that you make in there, and like that one's
Every
not that big a deal. Like I
I think
think,
every Pie has it at this point. Like,
yeah, no, I know that. No, I'm just saying, like I think a lot of people made a big deal about that, and it's like
well,
that's
yeah.
normal. You're making a big deal about nothing for that. But
Well, the reason people are pissed because they're it's in there really because like Blizzard lost Dota,
right,
and it's you guys didn't want it originally, so
right, and then they had to go make Heroes of the Storm, and it was
the
not.
blockbuster still is.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
So
but even like Reforged like doesn't work right. Like, I saw videos and like the units move so slow, and it's like, why are they moving it? I think it's like 20 frames a second, and it's like
mhm.
this game doesn't run at that. Why are the units walking at that speed?
Well, that's It just doesn't make any sense of why this is so bad for them, and then they're all having to come out and be like, "Oh, it's just been a bad week. It's been a bad week. It's been a bad time right now with Warcraft Reforged." And like this
I
was, yeah. Go ahead.
I I'm just curious, like, what has been the last positive WoW or Blizzard stuff? It had to be like WoW Classic,
Yeah, WoW Classic. Yeah, and that
because
wasn't really them. That was them having to give in to the community because they
yeah,
didn't
that
want
was like
that.
that was them having like dragged their feet into this thing, and it's like, what's wrong with because I know like the WoW numbers like basically doubled because of WoW Classic, and it's
Right.
like, shouldn't this tell you something that like maybe the head of your the company or your
And
division or whatever,
people just keep leaving as well.
yeah, like high level people, it's like, what? Like, if they want to do Warcraft Classic or I mean Warcraft Reforged, that's fine. What you do is you split off Warcraft 3 from Reforged, or you do it with what they do in those Halo anniversary collections, and let you switch at will between old and new. Because like their line of like, oh, we want to preserve, how the old scenes looked. It's like, no, you don't. Because why would your initial reveal trailer have that like good camera work in it then? That you're
That's
still
no, it's called we don't want to spend more money on this than we already have to make it
yeah,
look like the way we promised.
and it doesn't
And
look that good. That's like that's the most depressing part, actually.
and that's the whole point of a remaster is you want the game to look good. And when we're talking about a PC game, we're not talking about um something that you're trying to from like we're not talking about something that was on a older console that you're now just having to upscale to another console or whatever. This is something where you gave us what it could look like, and then you did not do that at all. So,
And it's equally baffling that they like StarCraft remastered did well, or that was completely fine.
mm-hmm. No,
I
but
mean, it changed like one or two things, but like people were happy with that thing. It was a-okay.
yeah, it's telling now. I think that like more and more you keep seeing this Activision is really putting their hand in, and we're starting to see like
And throttling Blizzard.
yeah, exactly. It's like they're throttling to where this isn't looking good. This is getting a lot of bad publicity. This is getting, like uh I can't imagine Blizzard and themselves thought, let's go to BlizzCon and announce a mobile game. That's really going to just make our fans so happy. We're going to have to wait another year to announce the Diablo 4 that they really want. It's like that all seems to not come from Blizzard itself. It seems to come from somebody else that says, "Look, we need to start upping this bottom line. We need to start
Yeah.
making more money, and all this
Well,
stuff."
I I honestly think that Diablo Immortal is never going to come out in the States. It'll come out in like Korea and Japan, like China, and that's it.
You don't think it'll come out here? Like, I think people will play it, and
Uh, I think I think it already has such a toxic cloud around it. I mean, even if it was a good one of those games, I think it just would not work out well for them if they put it out here.
yeah, I don't know, but I think with the way mobile games get played now, I think there's a
I think
bigger chance of it redeeming itself, and all those people that were hating it could say, well, it's actually good.
I mean that might be that they might say that if it was just a reskin of that other half a dozen other of those Korean games.
Well, we'll see what happens, but I just can't imagine Blizzard and Activision not deciding, oh, we're not going to release that here,
Yeah, I mean, I think. Well, let me put it this way. I guess I should rephrase. I think it will come out. I don't think it should come out.
Yeah, I don't think this is a Call of Duty Online situation. Like, you've already announced it at BlizzCon. Like, you kind of have to have it come out now here. Well, I mean, maybe this is good news for Diablo 4, at least, and Blizzard. Rod Fergusson, the Gears 5 director and head of Microsoft's Coalition Studio, is leaving Coalition Studio. This is a guy that's had a hand in every single Gears of War game, in one way or another.
It was at Epic, I think, for a while.
Right, when Epic was the one doing Gears. He's now joining Blizzard to oversee the Diablo franchise. I mean, he's leaving one big game franchise to join another much bigger game franchise, but still, like, I mean, that's good news for Blizzard at least. So, yeah, I mean, I hate to see Rod Fergusson go, but I wonder when the next Gears is even going to come out. I mean, we know Gears Tactics is coming. Wow, I think it's the end of this month. So
that's the Gears game I want to play.
Yeah, I'm excited for it too. But yeah, it's just like this is kind of a shock, and I want to see what he's gonna do, how involved he is gonna be in Diablo 4, and what that really means. He's just overseeing, but yeah.
I mean, they would never do it, but it'd be nice if they just kicked Bobby Kotick to the curb and had this guy like running Activision.
They won't do it. Like you said, they won't. And Bobby Kotick's got probably way too many people that he knows that he's probably got so much like bad dirt on people. I don't know that you could kick him out unless he just did something really bad.
But I think he's the reason I think that like, you know, Activision isn't the place they're at, and especially like Blizzard and stuff. Like, yeesh.
Well, Blizzard, yeah, certainly, they're in the place they're at because of Activision. But I mean, Activision keeps coasting on Call of Duty, and until that is stopped, and I don't think that you're gonna see them change much of what they do.
Which is only one thing.
Which, you know, if you didn't know, there's going to be a Call of Duty coming in 2020.
Yeah, I saw. I think it was Bleeding Cool had a headline of that, like new Call of Duty confirmed for 2020, and my response was no shit. Like they made a Call of Duty every year since 2005. Like, what's the next big story going to be? They're going to announce a new Madden game for 2020. New FIFA?
But this could be Black Ops 5 with Black Ops returning with a single player game because 4 didn't have one. So
no, this will be the off year. This will be the
No, they remember they removed Sledgehammer from making this.
No, I know they did. Well, okay, but if they did that, the games aren't gonna have a story. I don't think because they couldn't even get it working in Black Ops 4.
Well, no, Black Ops 4 they didn't want to. They wanted to do the Battle Royale.
They want to do. They just didn't have enough time.
Well, they say that, but I don't know.
Because why is there much story content in the game to begin with?
Well, they wanted to do it, like you said, they wanted to do it, but they also kind of were trying to test the waters to see if people would buy a Call of Duty game without the single player. And I mean, it worked for them, but this was I remember us talking about this last year. There were rumors that they were going to have Treyarch make it, and it was going to be Black Ops 5. And then, you know, this story comes out, and then people have to go backwards and remember that there was reports out that this could be it. Now, Activision obviously is not saying anything one way or the other, but it wouldn't really surprise me if it was Black Ops 5, because, I mean, Black Ops is the one that usually sells the most. So...
Nah. What they need to do is make a Call of Duty Ghosts 2.
Yeah, that's the one everybody wants. So let's play that. And maybe they can redeem themselves. Call of Duty Ghosts 2 will be good. So.
Yep.
You know, that'll be the one that everybody is pining after. So, Sony is trying to get their hat in the ring of the whole, let's use data to see if we can help players try to figure out when they're lost and how to get going again. The Ubisoft kind of does this, and their
Nintendo does it.
yeah, Nintendo does it. The Stadia made a whole big deal about it, where you can watch a streamer and start right there, and
And it doesn't work at all.
yeah, it doesn't work, and like you could find a walkthrough and go right there while you're playing, which that doesn't work either. And
Yeah.
so
Well,
Sony's
CD doesn't work, does it?
well, yeah, Stadia works, but not in the way that they said it would. So I mean, Ubisoft's works pretty well. This is a Sony patent, so we may not see it come out for a while. But I mean, obviously, this would be something that the PS5 would do, and I'm always down for something that saves my time. So if they integrate this into games going forward for the PS5, I'm down with that. Like,
I mean, I assume you have. I mean, you have a laptop. Like, I assume that if you ever get stuck in a game, you just bust open YouTube or GameFAQs and go, okay.
Right? Yeah. Now I could do that, right? I mean, like GameFAQs, you don't even need GameFAQs that much anymore because
YouTube,
you can just go to YouTube and watch somebody play it and know
yeah.
exactly what you're supposed to do. Like so.
I mean, I'm surprised. I'm really surprised GameFAQs hasn't tried to like integrate that or like have a section set up for video walkthroughs.
Well, GameFAQs is owned by GameSpot.
Yeah, CBS.
Yeah, CBS. So they don't have their own because Amazon owns Twitch and Google owns YouTube. So they don't really have their own. They'd have to pay Google or pay Amazon to integrate.
They can just partner with like Google. I mean, hell, like Giant Bomb videos are all up on Google or up on YouTube.
Right. I mean, they are, but that's because you can put anything on YouTube if you want. But
I mean, exactly. Just
yeah,
not like host a video on GameFAQs, but like link to it or say, this is the video walkthrough for Breath of the Wild or whatever.
Yeah, I'm surprised at that too. But I think GameFAQs kind of just they kind of just have to exist.
I think GameFAQs are still stuck in 1996.
Yeah, it's like Game Rankings where they finally died because they stayed stuck in 1996 too. So, I still go to GameFAQs sometimes when I just want to read something and not have to watch a video for 20 minutes or scroll through the video for 20 minutes to try to find where the hell I am.
Yeah,
but
find part 30. You're in some game and you watch like part 37 of some walkthrough. It's like, wait, is this before or after where I am?
Yeah, because a lot of the walkthroughs, they don't even tell you where they are in the game. It's just part 37. It's like, oh, well, great. Let me figure out where the hell you are now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a neat idea. I'd love to see Microsoft and Sony do something like this that would help you find your way. And it's kind of like the thing that it's in Death Stranding, where you leave stuff out there for people to know how to get to the route that you're supposed to go to and all that.
Yeah, that works great.
It does work great. And not now, because if you try to find it now, that stuff's not there. But if you played it when the game came out,
the week when it was popular.
Yeah. Oh, now they took out. Didn't they take out the thing where like the BTs get in the way or?
Yeah, I think you can turn them off or on essentially.
Well, that's cool. At least they make it easier to get around in the game. So. Netflix. This kind of goes together because Resident Evil 8 also got some information last week. So Resident Evil had a description leaked on Netflix. There was a rumor, I think, last year that Netflix may have been making a live action show for Resident Evil, and why not? After Resident Evil 2 Remake made such a big push last year, and Resident Evil 7 was such well received. I mean, the movies shouldn't have been made that much, but whatever.
Or at all.
Or at all. And we've seen what Netflix was able to do with The Witcher, so maybe you could trust them a little bit more with video game stuff. Uh,
let me ask you something. Aside from this new Sonic movie, which I've heard is actually like not terrible,
yeah.
do you think games work better as a TV show than or TV series than movies?
Yeah, I mean, I think Sonic works as a movie because it's also like it's a kids movie. It's like a fun kids movie. Like it's not. You don't have to
Yeah,
like go deep with the story and really try to,
but
like
I mean, the only like honestly, the only good like game movie is like Mortal Kombat, and that's
right. And that's because you don't have to go. You can do whatever the frick you want with that because it's so crazy. Like
no,
you don't
no.
have.
The Mortal Kombat's the one that stayed as faithful as possible to the source material.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. Like you could literally do the Mortal Kombat stories that are in the games right now as a movie, and it'd be fine. Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, Resident Evil didn't work as a movie because,
Of Alice.
well, yes, but they tried to do stuff that like didn't work. Like, I think as a TV show, even if you wanted to do stuff that's based on the actual games and not like in its own universe, I think you could work it that way because you have the episodes to be able to tell stories and flesh out those characters that you can't do in a movie.
Yeah,
So I think this work, and the same thing with like Witcher. You can take two books of that um, series and make it into the first eight or however. I don't know how many books or I think it's actually like the short stories that were used for the first Netflix season. So like you can do that and you can say, okay, this is season one is taking this part and and all that like they did with Game of Thrones and all that stuff. So like I just think that I agree with you. Um, if that Zelda show ever comes, I
no,
think that
I think that'll never happen.
I'm not gonna say no because I didn't know if there was gonna be another Mario. But I think that's the same thing. Like, I think it's hard to like if you're doing an animated or 3D animated Mario movie, I think that's hard to screw up. Um,
Yeah, I've been talking to a friend of mine. She was actually like a big Mario fan, like Mario 64 in particular. But I've been telling her we need to watch the Mario movie, and she like knows nothing about it.
yeah,
And I'm like, it's like a fucking fever dream. Like it has nothing to do with Mario, and it's beautiful.
but just to go to the Netflix description here. So this is discussing the town of Clearfield, Maryland. Has long stood in the shadow of the three seemingly unrelated behemoths, the Umbrella Corporation, the decommissioned Greenwood Asylum, and Washington, D.C. Today, 26 years after the discovery of the T virus, secrets held by the three will start to be revealed at the first signs of the outbreak. So, I'm guessing this is like a prequel to Resident Evils, which would be good
No,
because
it
I think
sounds like a sequel
maybe I don't know, or
because
just
it's
set
like
it.
didn't you just say like 26 years after the T virus was
Oh,
released?
after the discovery of the T virus. Yeah, that's right. So never mind. It's late. So
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you can make a game, you can make a TV show out of every one of those games, like having like 8 episode
hmm
Resident Evil 1 movie, or TV show, I should say, sorry, but 8 hour Resident Evil 2 TV show. But they don't want to do that because I I don't think they have faith in their games as like stories, and that's like,
yeah, I mean, I think they're
well,
also dipping their toe in the water. Like, let's see how this goes, and then
the baffling part to me is they allowed that jackass Paul W.S. Anderson to fuck up Resident Evil so bad, and then they gave him Monster Hunter. It's like, what? Didn't you see how this worked in the first place? Like, you want to give him now your most popular franchise,
well, I mean,
where he's going to cast a stupid wife in
these
it
Resident
again?
Evil games, these Resident Evil movies did make money, so it's not like it's not the purpose of those movies, anyways. They're just trying to make money. They're not really trying to make them good, you
Except
know.
for that last one. I think the last one didn't do too well.
Well, I don't know. You're way long in the tooth there at that point, but it's like,
Also, I mean, Monster Hunter and Resident Evil have way different fan bases.
yeah, but there's a lot they could just really. The thing is, like Monster Hunter, it's like it's a created character, and all you really, I mean, Like, there's
Well,
way too much minutia in Monster Hunter. Like, what are you gonna?
you know what it is, right?
Yeah,
No, the movie premise is portals open up in our world where the monsters come out,
yeah.
and Mila Jovovich is action army chick along with Ron Perlman, and they fight the monsters in tanks.
Oh Jesus.
At least
Okay.
like that. That's what I gleaned from like the synopsis or whatever, and I'm like,
Well,
huh?
that's really Monster Hunter, folks. That's
Oh, okay.
unnecessary.
Yeah, okay, yeah, this is the Wikipedia synopsis, so who knows if it's true or not. United Nations military team falls into a portal to an alternate world where hunters fight giant monsters. The two groups then come together to defend the portal to defeat the monsters from invading Earth. It's like, what?
Sure.
It sounds like half a dozen other movies that were already better, like, Pacific Rim or Battleship or crap like that.
Whatever. I mean, the Resident Evil Netflix show should be way better than that. So
I mean,
don't.
they could make a Captain Commando TV show and be better than this. Where is the Netflix TV show of Strider?
Hey, do it. Why not? Why not? This is
Yeah,
just. I mean, it's if they can make it work, it could certainly be like the next thing where
even
people
like well,
start taking.
even the Netflix like that Castlevania show's good.
Oh, that's really good. The anime, yeah, and the season 3 comes out in March, I think.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm excited for that. They really hit on the nail with the, and
I
it's
could
also
see
it helps that they don't have to do filler. Like they're short.
I could see if I mean I don't think Nintendo will ever like make a live action show, honestly.
Mm.
But if they made a bunch of like animated shows that were actually good, not like fucking Super Mario Brothers Power Hour, all that other garbage in the late '80s,
Super
then
Show was funny. It was fine.
no.
It was for the
Remember,
'80s. Like, come on, it's Captain Lou Albano. He was being awesome.
remember Captain N?
No, okay, that's all right. That's like that was pandering. It's like,
But
uh,
I mean, I could see that like I don't think a Metroid show would ever actually like work
oh, that'd be
like a real life
awesome.
show. But I think like a cartoon show or a
No,
cartoon,
could you
sure.
imagine like Ridley Scott got to direct like the Metroid show? That'd be amazing.
Yeah, he'd really do that.
Yeah, I don't think he would, but didn't
Instead, they would get Werner Herzog to do it. That'd be
didn't
awesome.
the
Also,
guy that wants to do the Metal Gear Solid movie also want to do a Metroid movie?
yeah,
Okay,
Jordan
yeah,
Roberts or whatever his name is.
yeah.
He's still trying to work up funding for the Metal Gear movie, which will never happen.
No, unless Konami decides to just fund it themselves, it's not gonna happen either. So all right, I mentioned that Resident Evil 8 has already gotten the rumors that is being made, as the Residents of Evil YouTube channel, who it's very good about releasing Resident Evil information, basically says that Resident Evil 8 will be first person. It's going to have Ethan return as the protagonist, and Eurogamer's kind of reporting the same stuff here. So, I mean, and why not when Resident Evil 7 was really good, and you know, you should make a sequel to that game, or perhaps not a direct sequel, but just another one in that vein. Crestford Field will also come back, and there's gonna be werewolves and ghosts and all that stuff.
All the typical Resident Evil staples.
Yeah, I mean, would you really be excited for Resident Evil 8?
I know, I didn't play 7, so I have no attachment to whatever thing they're doing now. I just want Resident Evil 3 and then Code Veronica whenever they do that.
Yeah, I mean, I love 7. I didn't get to play like a ton of it, and it's awesome in VR, so that's a thing too. So 8 getting to be made, and it perhaps being in a different I think it's supposed to be in a castle side of settings. So I'm totally
See,
down for that.
you're talking like Resident Evil 4 was supposed to originally be that. That's what Devil May Cry became.
Hey,
Except it wasn't first person. But like original Resident Evil 4 had like Leon in a castle with ghosts.
hey, why not use it for another game years later? That's still a good idea. So
What is the virus going to be called? The ghost virus, the GH virus?
yeah, could be,
Just
or it's still the T virus. It just somehow infects ghosts, or just the ghosts will be something. The ghosts will be
there'll be ectoplasm. It'll be the E
yeah,
virus.
yeah, exactly though. And the T virus just infected werewolves or something now. Whatever.
The L virus, the lycanthropy
Yeah,
offshoot.
exactly. It turned the people into werewolves instead. That's what
Sounds
we're
like
doing here.
sounds like the Order 1887 or whatever that stupid game was called.
Yeah, 86. Close. That's how much you hated it. You can't even remember the
Yeah.
number.
I remember 1800 and it's like 80 something.
Well, speaking of more people leaving places, and it could be for negative reasons, because there was a report not too long ago that some Take-Two was starting to push Rockstar into, hey, you guys need to kind of make more games and just like one every 10 years or whatever.
I mean,
You know,
sure, but also if that game is on the near the top of the sales chart 7 years later, like I wouldn't push him too hard.
right. So it may be because of that, because Dan Houser, one of the Houser brothers that started Rockstar Games, and he's pretty much touched everything that has been a thing for Rockstar. He's the like head writer on Bully.
Yeah.
He's been involved in the Red Deads and the Grand Theft Autos. Like everything had to go through the Houser brothers. Everything, every single little thing, was either Dan or Sam Houser's thing to have to say yes or no to, and also to find out that like just for them to even start working on a new game meant that you've now committed to 5 or 6 years of your life. And he took a break after Red Dead Redemption 2 in November 2018, and I think he's probably kind of looking at that and going, wow, if we even, because I think there's a report where he says he doesn't even know what they would do with Grand Theft Auto 6 because there's so much, because of how the world has changed, that whatever we do is going to make people pissed off. So do we even make a Grand Theft Auto 6 at this point? Like, so I think all of that combined, knowing that, man, that's another 5 years or whatever of my life that I'm having to commit to. Maybe he just didn't want to deal with that. I mean, he's been there for a long time.
I think for like if they were gonna do like a Resident Evil, or not Resident Evil, GTA 6, I think like the 70s would be a good like setting for it, because they did the 80s and they did like the early 90s,
right?
And they like their historical crap.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he's leaving. I think it would be hilarious if he joined up with Leslie Benzies at his company. That Amazon, I think it's called like Everything, or it's not. I don't know if it's Everything. He's doing like some weird game, like at Amazon. It's supposed to be like a GTA knockoff or something. Yeah, it's called Everywhere. That's it.
Yeah. Oh, it's at Amazon, so that means it'll never come out.
Yep. Exactly.
So, I mean, do you think it's more of a, okay, he's kind of just done everything you're going to do and he wants to do something else? Or you think it could just be like, oh, well, now we're going to have to make more games in a faster amount of time? Like, I'm not down with that. It's like,
well, I'm sure it is I'm sure it's burnout, but I mean, Rockstar used to make more games. Like, that's the thing. Like, the PS2 era, like they came out with games.
Well, I mean,
like
they also kind of needed it at that point, right? I mean, they had what 3 GTAs in 3 years?
maybe 4, but yeah. But I mean, like, no, they used to like also just make other games. Like that's the thing. Like,
I love the table tennis game. That game is good.
Like, you remember they used to like make like Midnight Club?
Yeah, I love Midnight Club. It's still my favorite arcade racing series. But
And
they probably won't bring it back.
And Manhunt.
Could have done without that. But cool. I'd love to see a Bully 2.
I mean, that's what everyone wants.
Right.
So that's why we won't get it.
I guess they could now if Take-Two's wanting them to be like, hey. I mean, we're happy with what Grand Theft Auto 5's been able to do in Red Dead 2, but it's like, hey, maybe let's make something else too. Like, I wonder. It would be interesting to find out if like Dan Houser ever explicitly says why. Sam Houser is now just head of everything there at Rockstar. Everything will be all right.
Until he gets forced out, also.
I just wonder. I wonder if there's other things there that will ever see the light of day.
But like Max Payne 4.
That's a huge thing for Rockstar.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's like the equivalent of like Miyamoto leaving Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's a huge deal, and I wonder what that means. But obviously, Rockstar's not hurt right now. But I wonder when that next game comes out, what that will mean.
Yeah, I imagine that. Like, let's say it's a GTA 6, just as an example. I imagine it will have a lot of the same. It'll have similar humor, but it'll be more coarse or more stupid, or not as like satirical. Let's say that.
Yeah, probably not.
It'll be a little more like in your face, like Borderlands or something like stupid like that.
I hope not.
Well, maybe not to that degree, but it'll be like leaning more towards that than. Because say what you want about GTA, but it always has like good writing in it, or like
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's one of the head writers, so that's the thing. Is like, how much will that be affected as well? Because he's involved with a lot of the reason why it has the great writing it has.
Yeah.
Huh? Definitely have to see what comes of that if we see an announcement for an next Rockstar game for next gen relatively soon or not. All right,
It'll be,
finally.
Like I said, Max Payne 4.
Finally, something that we'd heard about. Probably the biggest story from last week, and too bad we don't have Jens here to discuss it because I know he's a big fan of Wonderful 101, and it's got a Kickstarter campaign. It's already over 100 million.
No, I mean 1 million.
Yeah, 1 million. Sorry.
I think if I got 100 million, people would be a little more shocked.
Yeah, it's over 1 million already founded. There's so many stretch goals. I think they already hit the PC and PS4 stretch goal, or they were about to.
I think they passed it because I think that was like I think PS4 was like $500,000.
Yeah.
I don't know about PC, but that's not too hard.
And this will also be self-published, which is we had just talked about that the week before, that Tencent putting money into them was going to allow them to self-publish. So we've already seen what this is going to do. They've already reached. If they reach 1.5 million, they get to make a 2D side-scrolling adventure, Luca's First Mission. And,
just like that Bloodstained game, probably, or like the Mighty Number 9 thing.
Or like, what's the freaking The Beautiful Joe? Yeah, kinda, I guess.
I don't think it'll be like that good.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is cool for people that are big, huge, Wonderful 101 fans that were saying, "Oh, there's no way they can do this because it's got too much stuff that the Wii U you need it for the Wii U and all that." And so this is cool that this is getting made for people. I think this is cool. I mean, this just gets me a chance to play it because I didn't get to play it on the Wii U at all. So
that's the weird thing is like I know it got like, kind of mixed reviews when it came out. Like it has a really good art style and it looks cool. But it has a lot of touch oriented controls.
Right.
So I wonder how they're going to do that.
Game.
Yeah. Because I know like you can turn your minions into like a long blade. And if you just press the button, the blade is like half strength or whatever. But if you drew it on the Wii U tablet, then it was like full strength and like a lot bigger. So, are they just kind of like a painting interface of Okami or what?
Yeah, they could. I mean, why not draw from another Platinum game?
Yeah, I guess they were saying. Platinum like announced 4 projects in the works, and like Wonderful 101 is like one of them. So people are kind of speculating about what's going to be the other 3.
Well, they already have 2 in the works, right? Like Bayonetta 3 and.
No, this is different from that also.
Yeah.
People are like hoping for like Scalebound, for them to bring that back, like by themselves, or for them just to do it.
I mean, I don't see why Microsoft would say no. So like, if they're self-publishing and they could put it on Xbox One, because it's interesting that there's not even a Xbox One goal for this.
Yeah.
I wonder if Microsoft would say, "Well, you have to make it for Xbox."
To be fair,
we'll say okay.
There's not an Xbox goal for a lot of games these days.
Well, come on now. Almost everything that's cross-platform, unless it's like a Japanese developer, which obviously that's the reason why not. But
people are saying like Scalebound or even like a remaster of Nier.
Or I saw Dragon Guard 4 as well.
Yeah.
Which that would be cool. I like Dragon Guard 3 a lot.
Or hey, Okami 2 would be pretty nice.
Oh, that'd be awesome. But most of the original Okami people are nowhere to be found. That's gonna be fun.
And that game's due out in like April.
Yeah, fast. So they must have been working on it for. Did Tencent be like, hey, you guys should start working on this? But
no, because I think it would have taken a lot longer for that to happen.
Right.
But good on them. Like, if it actually makes the April goal, that'd be really nice.
It would be. Yeah, definitely, for it to be out that quick. Okay. That's it for the news. We're going to do this main topic here, which probably, again, won't take very long because, again, I said there's no Activision. There's not a lot of Activision properties that realistically could. Okay, so let's throw the ones we know out of the way. We know that they're okay. Call of Duty is obvious. That's already been thrown out there. Diablo, we already know is a Diablo 4. Cabela gets games made all the time, so that's not really a thing. Overwatch already has an Overwatch 2 coming. We saw what happened with Warcraft 3 Reforged, which a lot of those are Blizzard's. Okay, and there's sort of already a rumor of Crash getting a Temple. Oh, it's not a rumor. It's confirmed. Crash has got like a Temple Run style mobile game coming.
Yeah.
Which makes me believe that definitely. I don't know what else, is there another Crash game they could remaster?
I mean, they could do the later ones, but they weren't that good or memorable.
Yeah.
No one cared about them.
Okay, so
they could remaster Crash Bash.
I guess that's. I think there's more likely that there's just a new Crash game that's going to be announced. I think. Other than that, what the heck could they remaster? Like, what are you gonna do? A remaster of Pitfall? And like,
let us re-release. They'll release Uncharted with Pitfall Harry as the model. It'll be the same exact game as Uncharted.
Well, I think the other big one I've seen is people wanting a Tony Hawk remaster.
They tried that and failed already. What, second time it's a charm?
Yeah, I mean.
Plus, I think for him specifically, he got really burned by that Tony Hawk 5.
Right.
So, I mean, I think they would like to, or they might want to, but I think he would say, fuck you. Like, unless you're going to pay me a whole bunch of money.
Right. I don't think getting a remaster of Geometry Wars anything is like that big a deal that you're I mean,
Well,
unless
especially
they're
since Geo War 3 didn't exactly light anyone on fire.
I mean, yeah. Again, like unless the only thing I can think of is that they're just gonna remaster another Call of Duty game. Like,
Call of Duty 3, let's go.
yeah. Or did they
I
do?
mean,
They did Modern Warfare 1, right? And then Modern
yeah.
Warfare 2.
I think they did the online in Modern Warfare 2,
Yeah.
or maybe the single. They didn't do the full thing. I think they did the single player or the multiplayer, or one or the other, but I don't know which. I
And
mean,
then
the games I like to see, like, they couldn't do like a remaster. They'd have to just redo them. Or, I mean, but King's Quest and Space Quest.
yeah, King's
I
Quest
mean,
for sure. Yeah.
no, sorry. Space Quest and Police Quest. They already did King's Quest,
Mm.
and they own that SWAT franchise. Like, they could do another SWAT game.
Yeah, or remaster and SWAT.
Well, SWAT 4 Golden was pretty good, or SWAT 4. I think, well, Golden was like the complete package. But I mean, when that got announced on GOG, people went like insane. Like, they're like, finally, this game's back. Back.
Yeah, I mean, and Guitar Hero is their other big one, and that's not getting. There's no
I know.
reason for.
Yeah, they don't own Empire Earth. Yeah, the problem with Activision is 85 to 90% of their catalog is licensed crap or like licensed stuff. So it's like, okay, they did the Spider-Man games, for PS2 and Xbox. They're not going to remaster those. Or they did like a few GoldenEye games or 007 games. I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't either. Like, and they had the Marvel license for a while. They had Transformers license for a while. They had Ninja Turtles.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic, The Hunted, but whatever. Yeah, I mean that's the thing is, Activision is more of a publisher than a developer for a long part of their history, if not much more of it now. So, what are they going to do? A remaster of Star Trek Away Team? Like, no.
Yeah, I mean, it would either have to be games that like nobody ever freaking thought of getting remastered, or it has to be like they're gonna remaster 2 different Call of Duties.
Yeah.
I mean, because they did Black Ops 2, right?
No.
Or didn't they make it to where like you got a free copy of Black Ops 2 with 4 or so? Wasn't there a pre-order bonus that you got something with Black Ops 4 for getting the game or something like that? Or one of them. It's one of the very recent ones you got.
You got Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered when you got Infinity.
Right, yes,
War,
that one I remember.
Yeah, I think that was actually about it.
Oh, I think it's Black Ops 2 like Unlock. If you got it on Xbox, like Black Ops 2.
Oh, I mean, they might have done that, but that would have just been like the 360 version. That wasn't like a redone version or anything.
But yeah,
I mean, who did this? Let me look this up real quick. They should do another Street Hoops game.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Why not?
I mean, yeah, like I'm looking at their their list of games, and it's like, well, a lot of Transformer stuff, but they don't own that. Tony Hawk, they own that, but they can't do any more of those unless they sign another contract with them.
Yeah.
Like their games are kind of depressing, actually.
Yeah, it's like, again, like, are you gonna remaster Vigilante 8? It's like
they already did that. They did that for the 360.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, remastered again. Like, that's the thing is a lot of the stuff that they own is stuff that, like, okay, I think Tony Hawk, people like want Skate really bad, and like if you made a really good Tony Hawk remaster, I think people would be down for that. I think, but a lot of that, what made Tony Hawk also is the music, and how much of that are you gonna be able to get back? And Guitar Hero, you're not gonna waste the time doing that again. And So it's just, I think if you're doing anything, it's like doing new games in these franchises, like or like doing more of those remakes like Spyro and Crash. It's just, and they don't, like, after Spyro and Crash, I'm kind of like, what do you really have that makes me go, oh yeah, I want a remaster of that?
Yeah.
It's, I think it has to be like oh, we're remastering Call of Duty again, or another Call of Duty, or like, or Blizzard remastering another one, like Diablo 2, maybe, like.
Well, they've been talking about doing that for a while. But especially with how Warcraft 3 Reforged did, I imagine those hopes have been dimmed quite a bit.
Or maybe it's knowing Activision has been like, okay, well, this Diablo one better fucking work then, because you guys screwed it up on the Warcraft one, or
My response would be, you didn't give us enough money or time to do the Warcraft one
yeah,
correctly, so what do you expect?
that's what I would imagine.
Yeah. I mean, Activision as an entity, they're not a developer, they're a publisher. They just own developers. So yeah. I actually saw that I think they published it, that Ghostbusters reimagined or
the
remastered.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that for sale today for like $15.
Yeah, and
on the Switch version, no less. I'm like, all right,
right, all right. Well, I did say it wasn't going to be very long, so
yeah. Or just make a new Zork game. That's what everyone really wants.
Yeah, exactly. Just make a new Zork game. That's so. Let's just talk about games that are coming out. And technically yesterday, we saw the Yakuza 5 is out, so now it's the entire Yakuza Remastered Collection is available if you want to buy it, which I would totally recommend you do so. The Dead Cells DLC is out, Bad Seed. Reed Remastered is out as well. Under Hero is out for consoles. And the Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition is coming out tomorrow. Florence is coming to PC and Switch tomorrow, which that's a really good game. You should check it out. Daemon X Machina comes to PC tomorrow as well. Azure Lane Crosswave, which is based off an anime where girls are ships. Not joking.
That's one of Yenza's favorite animes, actually.
Oh, really?
All right, I think it's like there's like two different animes based on that concept, and I think that might be the wrong one or something. But I was like,
Azure
okay.
Lane, yeah, I hear a lot about Azure Lane. I just don't. Idea Factory keeps sending me press releases for this constantly, so I'm like, okay. I don't know that I'm ever gonna watch this anime, but cool. Glass Masquerade 2, which I remember Glass Masquerade 1 being actually pretty good, is coming to Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. Darksiders Genesis comes to consoles as well.
That's not a bad game. I played the PC version, and I'd recommend it, especially if you can find someone else to play it with.
Definitely. And Dreams is the big game that comes out on Friday. So,
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's been in early access, but
what? Railway Empire for the Switch isn't the big game.
Yeah. So if you've been waiting for the full version of Dreams, which I'm excited, I'm kind of interested in the single player aspect. That's probably one that I'll wait on. I'm not necessarily saying I want to jump on it now, but yeah. And Snack World, the Dungeon Crawl, I think is also the sort of big game for the Switch this week. And yeah, next week will be the Bayonet and Vanquish remaster collection. Hunt Showdown comes to consoles next week, and you'll start seeing the Kingdom Hearts games show up on Xbox next week as well. So if for some reason you still have not played Kingdom Hearts and you only own an Xbox, there you go. You'll start seeing them. Which I don't know why Kingdom Hearts 2.8 is the one that you're. I guess because it's the closest to Kingdom Hearts 3 is the first one that you start seeing. But yeah, there's that happening as well. And oh yeah, Smash Tennis and comes to the Switch for the Nintendo Online thing. Which
they announced like some more old console games for the Switch, like the SNES and NES games, but none that you care about.
Two of them are like never released here, but they're games that like I wasn't really waiting for Smash Tennis and a Poppin' Bee. Poppin' Twin Bees, sorry. Yeah, so there's that. But all right, was there something else I was supposed to? No, that's it. So definitely go check out that w2net.com if you like what you heard. Make sure you hit subscribe so you get anytime we do a show. It's there in your feed, and review if you care to. And yeah, we'll be back on next week with more to discuss about what's going on in the gaming world. Until then, see you later, everybody.
Later.